Hi, this is Kathy Fisher with Competition Plus Audio Magazine, and she's been to 3 finals this year in NHRA Pro Stock. It's Erica Enders. How you doing, Erica?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. We're all dying to see you take one, and I know, and not even as much as you are.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So we've had Bristol with Mike Edwards earlier this year, and then what is this deal with you and Greg Anderson?
I have no idea. And in our interviews last weekend, I'm like, gee, I think that made 3 or 4 weekends in a row that we've met each other in the semis or the finals, and it seems that they've got our number right now. But the Summit guys have really put some space on the rest of the field, like 100th and a half of a second, and we're just all playing that catch-up game again to them, and we've got to find some more horsepower. That's the bottom line.
Well, you've definitely been doing very well in the reaction time department, and you had Greg a little bit on the tree, and about half track until he started to pull around you.
Yep, that was the part that that sucked the worst. Pretty much, I could see. I knew I left on him, and every gear change, I would look over out of the corner of my eye, and he's a little bit behind, and I know he back halves really well, but so do we. We'd just been struggling all weekend, and I'm like, come on, God, please. And surely enough, at the finish line, he came around us just a little bit. But my team's been doing a great job. We have really great horsepower over there, and I think it's just a matter of time before the cards fall as they should, and maybe we'll just get a little bit of luck on our side one of these races.
Well, we know you have to have a little luck in drag racing, or you don't go anywhere, no matter how hard you try. But when you think about some of the things that Greg has said, does it offend you at all when he says he doesn't want to be the first to lose to you?
Not really, because I know Greg, and he's an extremely competitive person, as we all are. But I guess it would, after hearing how complimentary he is of me in the interviews, that really means a lot to me, just because how long he's been around and what a great driver he is. But then on the I don't want to lose to the girls side, it almost makes me hope that he is the one in the other lane when we finally do get our first win. And I don't mean that derogatory by any means, but it just, I just want to win really bad. It doesn't really matter how it happens. I just hope it happens.
When you came into this season, how would you gauge where you guys have been and what you've accomplished compared to what your goals might have actually been?
That's a tough one. Our goal, I always set really high goals, and as a team, our goal is to obviously win, and just like any other team out there, to go out and compete and be consistent and make a true run for the championship at the end of the year, which I think all of those things that I just mentioned we have done, other than win that first race. So, I think we're doing a great job. We've gelled really well together. A lot of us have known each other for 8 or 10 years, and it just makes it that much more fun to go out there because we love what we do. Our hearts are all in the right position. Like, everybody wants the same thing, and I'm really blessed to be in the position I'm in and to work with the guys that I work with.
And I'm not taking anything away from any of the other classes whatsoever, but coming from a driver's standpoint, Pro Stock is definitely one of those classes where you cannot make one mistake pretty much and expect to win a round.
Exactly. I mean, and you go look through just the qualifying stack from 1 to 16 is only separated by a couple hundredths of a second, and what has to go on in the car and all the things that have to be executed so perfectly, like you said. It's a really challenging car to drive, and I think from the outside looking in, it doesn't really seem that way to a lot of people, but it's a tough car to drive, and you've got to be on your game. 20 lighter better, or you're not going to the next round, and pretty much make a flawless run.
You've been qualifying, like you said, very well, too. And when you take a look at the other thing that the Pro Stock racers get to chase, which is the K&N Horsepower Challenge, you got to be really happy to be up in the top like you are and not too far behind Greg Anderson, who's leading the points right now. There comes that name again.
A couple weeks ago, we were leading. We've just kind of fallen off a little bit during qualifying, and it's not due to lack of power or lack of effort by any means. It's just, we're not putting together the best runs that we can when they count. But to be in the top couple in that K&N deal, I really love K&N and the race that they put on for us, and I know all the other Pro Stock guys love it as well. So it's very meaningful to all of us, and it's something that we all strive to do really well at because obviously we want to be in the top 7 so we can race in the event next year at Norwalk.
Yeah, and then you're in because you're in.
I know.
And you
that'll be the first time in a long time that I got to do it when it was the King Demon Crown back in the day, and I think it was '06, and we actually qualified for one. But the past 2 or 3 years has been based on votes and stuff, which is actually a really cool opportunity for, like this year, for people like me and Vincent Nobile who weren't running last year when all these guys started accumulating points for that series. So I'm excited to be in the top few and actually earn a spot based on racing.
Well, Erica, nothing but the best of luck to you the rest of the season. And thank you so much for taking some time here on Competition Plus Audio Magazine.